Operational Response Unit, Operational Projects Unit, my apologies, Operational Projects Unit from the FBI lab to come out with spherical video and digital photography to film both the chase route with spherical photography and also to use digital photography and take 360-degree photos at Heritage Middle School.
And did you in fact facilitate that?
Yes.
Did you drive that route prior to the video being taken?
Yes.
And this is the route that the pursuit took on the night of November 29th, correct?
Yes.
Where did you receive the information about that route?
From Special Agent Mark Kohler of the BCI.
How long did it take you to drive that route?
53 minutes approximately.
And when did you drive? When during the day did you drive that?
It was an afternoon.
Did you later drive that route in the evening?
Yes.
How long did it take you then?
Almost an hour.
And did you accompany the people who were taking the spherical video when they drove the route?
Yes, I was actually the lead vehicle.
So they followed you, they took the video, you led them on the route,
yes.
Correct? Did there come a time, and that was, you said, in approximately December of 2012?
Yes.
Did there come a time again in March 2014 where you again became involved in this case?
Yes.
And what did you do in March 2014?
I was invited to go to Heritage Middle School that day with BCI and the medical examiner's office to not necessarily assist them, but be available in case they needed assistance restaging the vehicles involved.
So you observed the resetting of the vehicles in March of 2014 at the middle school, correct?
Yes.
And did you observe the total station, or I'm sorry, the laser scanner being used by another agency?
Yes.
Correct? You yourself did not conduct a scan, correct?
No.
Did there come another time when you went out to the middle school when another scan was done?
Yes.
And when was that?
October 15th of 2014.
And what was the purpose for that?
That was a total station team, came in from the Pittsburgh FBI. It was 3 people from Pittsburgh, and also Jeff Gray from the Operational Projects Unit at the FBI lab was in town that day as well. The total station team took measurements that they needed to make the model here, and Jeff Gray and I took more photos and actually measured by hand with a tape measure several areas ourselves.
So you didn't actually operate the total station, correct?
No.
Are you familiar with the individuals who did?
Yes.
Have you worked with them before?
Yes.
Have you worked with them before to produce things like models?
Yes.
And so you've been out at the scene yourself twice, correct?
Correct.
And did any measurements that you took, I know you didn't do the scan, but what were you measuring with Mr. Gray?
A lot of the measurements involved actually measuring individual bricks, and the fence, the sections of fence were involved in that as well.
So is it fair to say many very detailed measurements were taken in October of 2015?
Yes.
Or 2014?
Yes.
And the model that we're looking at here in the courtroom, is this the first time you've seen that?
No.
When did you first see the model?
I actually picked it up on March 31st at the Operational Projects Unit at the FBI lab.
And is the model consistent with the scene as you saw it that day?
Yes.
And had you worked with Mr. Gray before?
Yes.
All right. And Your Honor, for the record, I'm referring what's now been marked. I believe we're up to 1091. My evidence girl is not sitting back there to help me out. The model in the courtroom. This is the model that you picked up, sir, from the FBI?
Correct.
Right. And additionally, sir, did you also at some point take receipt of a package containing bullets that had been sent out for additional analysis?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Sure.
Thank you. And Agent Garnett, handing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 16. What is State's Exhibit 16?
FedEx box.
And to whom is it addressed, sir?
To S.A. Chris Garnett.
And that's you?
Yes.
Is this the package that you took receipt of?
Yes.
And then you turned it over to a representative from my office, is
Yes,
that correct?
Mr. Gallagher.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
All right, and sir, just to briefly go back to your role, is it fair to say you're the liaison for evidence issues in this region?
Yes.
All right. So it's not just on this case that you assist law enforcement agencies, correct?
No.
In general, what do you spend your time doing?
The majority of my time during a week is spent working with state, local, and federal agencies. I would say probably a little over half of my time is actually working with local agencies.
Very good. And have you had occasion in the course of your duties before to have other models made and brought back here in Northeast Ohio?
Yes.
When was the most recent time?
June of 2 years ago.
And what case was that for? if you
The
recall?
Ariel Castro case.
And sir, is this, to your knowledge and based on your previous workings with the people in Quantico who made this, pretty much an exact model of the scene?
Yes.
Minus the positioning of the cars, but the actual layout of the land, correct?
Yes.
And sir, I believe you said you were the leader of ERT, is that correct?
Yes, evidence response team.
Thank you. Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barnhill. Do you have any cross-exam, Mr. D'Angelo?
Briefly, Ron. Good morning, Agent.
Good morning.
Sir, other than the Castro case and this case, any other cases in the last 5 years that you have prepared models for the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office?
Cuyahoga County, no.
Okay. Both high-profile cases, a lot of media, right?
Yes.
So all the other homicides and rapes and other serious crimes in Cleveland in the last 5 years, these are the only two that you've been called in to do modeling, correct?
Correct.
You're aware that we had a view of the scene in this particular case?
Yes.
And I'm not disputing that this is to scale and all your measurements are anything but accurate. But looking at this, you get a different perception of how things look by looking at the model as opposed to actually going to the scene.
Yes. I assume.
And would it be a fair statement, I'm not trying to be smart, but you took these measurements during the daytime, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you were not at the scene around 11 p.m. at night with sirens and emergency flashing lights from patrol vehicles going on, correct?
No, I was not
And you were
there.
not doing your duties with gunfire going on, correct?
No, sir.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Did these model cars come from your bureau also?
Yes.
So are they supposed to be to scale not only to the action cars themselves, but also to the...
I'm not sure about to scale with the model. I can only assume that the individual that actually built this model has been doing it for 30 years, and he told me that they went down to the detail of even putting the license plate numbers and the police car numbers on all the vehicles.
Okay. What's the distance from that first traffic island, as you and I are looking at it closest to us, to the final resting place of the Malibu?
I have no idea.
One final question. This is just out of curiosity, quite honestly. Do you charge then local agencies for your efforts here?
No.
Okay. Any redirect, Ms. Barnhill, based on what's been asked since you last inquired?
Yes, Your Honor. Agent Garnett, there is a scale on this model, is that correct?
Yes.
So even though you're not able to tell us offhand, if we wanted to do the math and figure it out, we could measure the distance.
Yes.
on here from any point to any other
Yes.
point, correct? Very good. Thank you. Nothing further.
And anything, Mr. D'Angelo?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, we appreciate your testimony today. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're excused. Let's plan on resuming at 1:35. We are off the record. Thank you. Is there anybody this afternoon who's quite long? Or kind of, we're going to go rapid fire later? Kurt Jones from the ME.
You're very short.
I'm just trying to gauge how many witnesses we're going to get this afternoon.
I'm not, he's, judge is asking to me if this is going to be long.
You said Kurt Jones?
Kurt Jones.
Is he the first witness?